So, hello guys, this is Tashfik Chaudhary, your trainer and assessor. So, it's 6 p.m. already, and I think no one is here. So, I'm going to start the lecture. Hopefully, if you guys can join me, and if you guys are here, just knock me, give me a message, and if you have any question, you can ask here. I'm going to ask your question, or even later if you have anything, maybe when I'm going to post the video, you can ask questions and I will definitely get back to you. So let's start, guys. So today we are going to discuss about the new unit. This is BSBFIA 401, which is prepare financial reports. So first of all, what do we understand by prepare financial reports? Because we need to understand the code's requirements. So in accounting, like all the companies, all the big multinational companies, and even the small companies, they have to maintain their financial reports. Maybe it could be for any reason, for auditing, for tax purpose, or maybe for internal recording. But they need to maintain this financial report. Normally in financial report, we have the balance sheet, income statement, a lot of documents. So we need to know first of all the main purpose of the financial reports and how to make the financial reports. So in this unit we are going to discuss about the main elements of the financial reports. So let's begin. This will be our assessment plan. Uh, so we have total like 4 assessments. Number one is written questions. Number two, assess register. Three, depreciation. And number four, balance date. So what I'm expecting actually from you guys are like, since you guys are doing certificate for accounting, I'm expecting that at least the basic concepts of accounting, because we are going to deal with all the accounting terms and the explanation and everything. So number one question is, it's very easy. It's very simple. You'll get 15 questions and then you need to answer those questions. So for question answer, like this is easy. You can search on Google. You can maybe go to any library, maybe any accounting book. You'll definitely get the definitions of these answers. But the most important thing here is you need to write from your own concept. You need to write from your own words. So do not just copy and paste the answer, because I think we all know how to do this, but the main concept of this question is basically we have to know the concept, then we have to justify this with our own answers. Okay, so this is number one. Number two is asset register. So for asset register, first we have to know what is an asset. What is an asset? And then we need to know like how to register all those assets. Today we are going to discuss about the number one and number two, written questions and asset register. And next time we are going to discuss depreciation and balance date. I'm planning maybe for we are going to continue for 1 hour or maybe less. And by this 1 hour, we are going to discuss all of the things from assessment one and two. But maybe I'll try to go a little bit fast, because some of the questions I'm already expecting. Maybe you know about this. So I'll not discuss about too basic, but yes, I'll just try to explain. Sorry for that. So these are some important points for assessments. I think we all should, focus on these 5 or 6 points. The first one is please read through the assessment truly before beginning any task. So yes, like I'm teaching in one of the college in Sydney, like for last 1 year. And from my personal experience, as I have experienced that most of the students, they don't start, they don't properly read the questions. They just start jumping on the assessment. So this could be a very good advice, because the best advice is first go through with the assessment. First go through with the assessment, then you need to answer those answers. Second one is keep a copy of all of your work, as the work submitted to your assessor will not be returned to you. So this is very important. Yes, this is very important, that you always need to save your file, maybe in your desktop, or maybe you can have a backup in your email, anywhere. But the most important thing is you need to have your submitted documents, because suppose if you send me the email and you delete it, and for some technical error, if it's get deleted or something, we're in a big problem, right? So always try to save the document. If you do not agree with an assessment decision, so again, these things are, if you're not satisfied with the assessment result, you can appeal for this. Then one more important thing is we have an additional resource. So for additional resource, financial policy and procedures. So these document, we need this for our assessment too. And most importantly, you can find this document from our HES LMS website. All the documents are uploaded there, and I'm going to upload this file also there. So these are the instructions. If you open your assessment, you'll see that we have a task cover sheet, assessment task information, assessment task information. So this is same, sorry for this one, and checklist. So okay, for assessment 1, this is an open book test. So what I was saying that this is properly, you can search on Google or anywhere, maybe any book. It's totally like open book. So no written exam, nothing, just assessment based. Students need to answer all of the written questions correctly. So one thing, again, you need to answer all the 15 questions. You cannot leave any of them. Student can research from internet to find an answer. So yes, I already discussed about this one. And most importantly, make sure no plagiarism. So what do we understand by this? No plagiarism. So no plagiarism means what I just discussed. You cannot copy anything from website. It needs to be your own word. And the last point is answers must be word processed and sent to your assessor as an email attachment. So after finishing your assessment, you need to send me the whole assessment, and it's need to be an email attachment, not like full assessment sending in the mail. Because even from my experience, I've seen students are sending me the answers from directly in the mail. So let's start, guys. So if you guys see, we have like total 19 questions here. Sorry, it was mistakenly it was there like it's only 15, but no, it's total 19 questions there, and you need to answer all of them. So explain the basic principle of double entry bookkeeping. See, we have total like 19 questions, so it will be very hard for me even to discuss all of the questions like 5-10 minutes, because we don't have even that much time. So the first question is basic principle of double entry bookkeeping. So what are the main principle of double entry bookkeeping? So as from my even work experience, I'm working in a farm for like last 3 years. as the accountant. Before that, I worked as a bookkeeper in one of the big multinational company in Bangladesh. So the main concept of accounting is it needs to be like double entry bookkeeping. So what do you understand by double entry bookkeeping? This is the transaction, like one transaction, it needs to be they should have at least two sides, at least two sides. Like if it's a transaction, there should be one debit and other side should be a credit. For like research, again, I can show you, how to research this. So basic principles of double entry bookkeeping. You go to any website. Let's say in Google, basic principles of double entry bookkeeping. See, learn bookkeeping basics. So we have a lot of websites. You can try to get information and everything. So let's say this website. So if you go in, see, the double entry bookkeeping principle is profoundly important in the world of accounting. So for answering even the questions, you guys can, start with an introduction and then just give me the main main definition. Yes, main definitions. So as I say, they're giving, one example, like this is a transaction and these have, both sides. One side is asset and the other side is the liability. So that's it. Sorry for the printer sound. So let's start with number 2. What are the 3 golden rules of accounting and how do they apply to double entry accounting? So you just need to discuss about the 3 main golden rules and then you need to explain this. So my 3 golden rules are debit the receiver, credit the giver. So for basic accounting, when you don't have that much knowledge on accounting, because it's the beginning course certificate for accounting. So from like we are going to teach you everything. Like we are going to discuss. We are trying to cover everything. But let's assume that when we start, we don't have any basics ideas. So that's why we just have something like for accounting. They just have just some of the golden rules you need to maintain. So number 1 is debit the receiver, credit the giver. So debit means if you ever heard about debit, just remember it's always the receiver. So who is getting the money is always the receive debit, and who is giving the money, if money is going out, it's credited. Second golden rule is debit what comes in, credit what goes out. So again, if you're getting money, that's debit, and if you're giving money to someone, that means it's credit for you. And last point is the third golden point is debit all expenses and losses. So again, if we have, suppose in your business or in your daily life, if you have any expense, suppose your groceries, expense, bills, everything is debit, and all your income, suppose you're getting a salary from your employer, so that's everything is credit. Then again, so let's start the number 3. In number 3, we need to just define these points: depreciation, doubtful debts, age analysis, adjusted trial balance, prepayments, need realizable value. So these 6 points, these are very important for accounting, because in accounting, all this, we are going to use a lot of terms. If you don't know about the terms, right? If you don't know about the terms, you will be lost. So you need to know about the definitions. So what is depreciation? If I ask you what is a depreciation? From normal point of view, when we all know what is a depreciation. So suppose if you buy an asset today, right? If you buy an asset today for maybe $10,000, and you're planning that you're going to use that asset for next 10 years. Okay, so yes, so we are assuming that we are going to use the asset for next 10 years. But what will happen after 10 years? After 10 years, we won't actually, have a value. So that means the asset is, we can't use this. And why? Because of depreciation. Because every year we have a depreciation of that asset. So the use is actually called the depreciation. If you're using this, suppose if you have even a car, if you're using this, so that is a depreciation. Doubtful debts, again, maybe in your life also, if you suppose you gave some money to your friends, let's say just friends. So if you give money to your friends and he or she is not, giving you back the money, then you will going to say that it's a doubtful debt. Age analysis. So suppose again, like you gave money to 3 of your friends. Maybe you gave money one of your friend yesterday, other friend 1 month ago, and the other one 3 months ago. So by age analysis, we can actually analyze like who has to give the money first. So the friend, your friend who is, you gave him or her money 3 months ago, you have to pay first. Then that friend who you gave the money 1 month ago, and then yesterday's one. Adjusted trial balance. So for understanding adjusted trial balance, you have to know first of all about trial balance. So in trial balance, this is just just for your calculation, because previously I said we have debit and credit. We have both sides, and the both sides always need to be matched. So just to for calculation, just to check if both of the sides matched, we are going to do trial balance just to check. Prepayment. What is and prepayment? So prepayment is, let's say you're giving, suppose you're maybe prepaid phone bills. You're giving them suppose $100 today, and you're saying that you're going to use that money for next 1 month, right? So that is prepayment. You're paying now to get a service later, and need realizable value. So this value is basically after finishing your maybe useful life of the asset, what amounts of the asset money is left, that is the net realizable value. Describe number 4. Okay, so I'm going actually very detailed, but maybe I'll not discuss all of them. What we can do is maybe I'm going to discuss some of the main questions, and after that, if you guys are confusing any of them, you can send me a mail, or you can ask a question here. So yes, so describe what is mean by fair value under AASB 116. So AASB 116, this is basically it stands for accounting, they have the, what I can say, just to explain you that like they have some organization, this is a government organization, they check all of the accounting year, is it correct or not. So from their point of view, from their website, you can even find out what is a fair value. Fair value is maybe the current market. Fair value means the current market price. So suppose you bought a car 1 year ago in $50,000, right? And today, if you want to buy that car, if you want to sell that car in maybe, let's say, in $40,000, so that means this is the fair value now. The current market price is the fair value. Okay, let's see which one we are going to discuss. So explain the difference between Ballinger. So let's not discuss this one now. Outline the reasons why an adjustment for depreciation expense is required. So these things, first of all, you need to understand properly about everything about these terms, then you can answer this one. And these are not actually that difficult. I just need the straightforward answer. So don't give me any answer like which is one page because these are short questions. So I'm expecting maybe just one para or two para, answer, and maybe minimum like 6 to 7 lines. Yes, and there is no word limitations for this one, so just have 6 to 7 lines. Yes. Explain the purpose of Privacy Act 1988 and list 13 Australian privacy principles. See, so for this one, actually, you don't have some of the answers you can actually even write from your own point of view, right? Because these are some Privacy Act, and you need to search this on Google to find out about this act and those 13 privacy principles. So let's say again, if I copy this, because you're going to get a lot of websites. These some of the answers, it's very straightforward. Even sometimes they're asking these questions just to have the students to get the knowledge of this act and everything. Oh, good. So this is PDF. I'm not going to maybe check here. Let's say this website, because there's a lot of websites. You need to find one, and if it's not relevant, you can go to another one. See here, they're saying Privacy Act 1988. But what was our question? I also need 13 Australian privacy principles. So just try to check, if they have the 13 principles or not. If yes, copy this. If not, maybe you need to go and check in other websites. Yes. So what is anti-discrimination legislation? What does it protect against? Give 3 examples of anti-discrimination acts. So these are all rules and regulations. These are all legislations, and these things you can actually get idea from by researching, because these are some legislation. Anti-discrimination. What do you understand by anti-discrimination? That we are, we don't actually support the discrimination, so they have some rules and regulations for this discrimination. To see these all points, maybe it's better you guys try and just ask many questions. Unfortunately, today, we don't have any student with me, so I understand this is the first day, so no one is here, but hopefully from next time, we'll have students in this one and you guys can ask me questions. 19, answer the following questions about GST. So what do you understand by GST? Answer the following questions about GST. And for GST, we have like total 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 questions. So number 19 is a little bit big than other questions, because normally we have just one pair answer. So these are too big. But still, let's try to even help you in some of the GST part. First of all, just try to understand what is GST. GST is the goods and service tax. So the tax we are paying to the government for goods and services. Everything, almost everything, we have GST included. We don't have in some of the items, and here we're also going to discuss those items. So what is the standard rate of GST? So standard rate, from my knowledge, this is I think 10% on most of the goods and services. This is just the standard rate. Yes, some of the products they have even more GST, and some of them they have less, but standard is 10%. Least two items that do not attract GST. See, I was talking about this question. They don't have any GST. So two of, okay, I can give you maybe 6 or 7 points. So let's say most basic foods such as bread, fruit, vegetables, they don't have any GST because these are two, basic foods. Everyone need this. So this is like much needed for, for living. So government, thankfully, they don't, take any GST from these products. Then international mail, yes, mains waters and bottled drinking waters. For bottled drinking water, there is no GST. Some exports, yes, some exports because government want that we do, we try to do more exports. That's why they're expecting that we do more exports and no GST for exports. Some educational course material and exhibition field trips. So some education course even for Queensland student, who are doing the government funding, even you guys see that it's very less amount of money. Why? Because government is giving subsidy and also they're not charging any GST. Unflavored milk is like basic need. Then tea and coffee, but just make sure for tea and coffee it's not ready to drink beverage. Okay, second question is what is the process by which a business would report GST to Auckland Tax Office? So what is the process? The process is monthly or quarterly business activity statements. What is the penalty rate to be applied if a supplier does not provide an ABN? So what is ABN? I think everyone knows who are have their own business or anything in Australia. Is the business purpose. We know about TFN, and this is completely for business. We do have ABN. The penalty rate is 48.5%. Barry works from home as an accountant. No, sorry, I just missed that point. A non-profit organization need to be registered for GST after it has a turnover of more than how much? So a non-profit organization needs to register for GST after it cross 150K. Then this question is very tricky. Barry works from home as an accountant. So he's an accountant like us. He's a sole trader. Sole trader means he has his own business and has an ABN. So he needs to, have an ABN for sole trader. His business is not registered for GST. So the business is not registered for GST. Would Barry charges GST on his invoices to clients? So the answer is no, because it's not registered to GST, right? So he couldn't charge GST to clients. Barry put the words tax invoice on an invoice to his clients. Is it correct? Explain your answer. No, this is not correct actually, because if it's not registered, he cannot use tax invoice in his invoice. It should be only invoice, not tax invoice. Okay, next question. Would Barry still need to be complete a business activity statement? This is actually answer should be no, because if it's not registered for GST, he don't have to actually complete these activities. This business activity statement here he don't have to do because he's not authorized to do this because he's not registered. Last question. Barry makes a 15K in 1 month and he thinks this monthly income will continue for the next 12 months. So let's read the question. Barry makes 15K in 1 month. So his income is 15K and thinks this monthly income will continue for next 12 months. Yes, that's not a bad salary again, right? 15K in 1 month, that's a very good salary. Okay. So what does he need to do to ensure he is adhering to GST regulations and ATO requirements? Explain your answer. So this is a little bit, a case study based questions. They're giving you a scenario and you need to answer this. So Barry needs to be registered for GST as his predicted income will be more than 70K. See, so if your income is more than 70K, if you're busy, from business, if it's more than 70K, you need to be registered. If it's less than 70K, that's fine. So if we, so that means 15K into 12, that means it's more than 75K. So assessment 1 is done. Okay. And if you guys have any question, you can ask me later in mail. You know my mail address, and also after finishing the assessment, I'm going to send you all the videos with my mail address. Okay. So this is assessment task 2 instructions. So this is a case now. See, between assessment 1 and assessment 2, it's different. Assessment 1 is just question answer based, and assessment 2 is a case study. So if you all open the question from assessment, let's say from here. So this is the case study, and then we have to answer 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all of these questions. Yes. Just make sure number 5 is not actually nothing. It's not a math or nothing. It's just you need to send me the email. That's it. All of this, 1, 2, 3, 4 parts you need to send me. Guys, sorry for the printing. All the students here are doing the printing, so it's very frustrating. Next time we'll try to move the room. We'll try to change the room because maybe the sound is not clear because of the printing. So let's continue. Assessment task 2 instructions. Okay, Andrew, the owner of Andrew Slabs, purchased a bench planner. Assets number 346 from Mulam Machinery on 1st July 2014 that cost 18K. Is expected to produce 5,000 items during its life in the workshop, and the end of its scrap value will be 1,000. Okay, guys, let's just go for a 15-minute break because I think we need to fix the printer. This is too frustrating. I think the sound is getting a problem. So let's try to fix it first, then I'll join you in, let's say, 15 minutes.